All right, guys. So in a few minutes or just a few seconds, we're going to have Justin Schroeder with us, and we're going to talk about how being your own man and speaking your own truth plays into attracting women, and just doing that in general, right? Like part of being an alpha male has to do with just going your own path, no matter what the cost. And Justin is one of these guys. He rides motorcycles, he shoots guns, he's got big old trucks. He does his own thing, and like nobody's going to dispute that. He says shit like it is. And for those of you that don't know, Justin had a viral video that went viral. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but basically what happened was somebody had the audacity to put a note on his front door because he was flying a flag. Of all things, he was just flying a flag, and some like super, liberal, neighbor of his, got offended by his flag, and so he did a video response to that, and that shit took off. Like Justin has, I think, 25,000 followers on Facebook. He's got a decent Instagram following. And so we're just going to talk to him whenever he's ready. Man, just chime in whenever you're ready.
We'll do,
He's
brother.
getting his coffee.
Just
getting his coffee right now. I got mine.
Wait on the Keurig.
Hey. Oh, yeah.
No, it was, Benny, it was an incredible day. It really was. And, the power of standing in truth and speaking your truth, it will intimidate a lot of people, but at the same time, it'll also bring forth a lot of people's respect and how you carry yourself, how you walk. It's not just whether it's in video or on social media, but real life as well. I see a lot of people that will hide behind one version of themselves online, and at the same time, I'll see them out in public, and they're not even remotely close to that person.
Yeah.
And that authenticity just screams through, no matter whether you're in person or you're online. To me, it's very, very important to be that same person and standing in truth at all times. And I'm seeing a lot of people that are finally starting to figure this out. But when it comes to no matter if it's professional or personal life, whether it's talking to women or it's just talking to people in general, how you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself, how you walk, how you talk, it plays a lot into commanding the presence of the room. And especially when it comes to attractive women, sometimes they get threatened by it. They really do. But other times it's more...
Guys, for those of y'all who are chiming in, Justin's making his coffee right now. I'm going to get him up on the screen in a second. But that's the voice that you're hearing is Justin Schroeder at the moment. He's coming on the screen in a few.
I'll be right there. I got about 20 seconds left. But yeah, absolutely. It's one of the craziest things just because of the fact, it does intimidate people. And depending on how strong that person is and how strong mentally and emotionally they are they able to handle something like that? And that's the real question, especially when it comes to dealing with women and even other males. Either they're going to challenge you or they're going to follow you,
what's funny, man, is that this is actually how we met. So for those of y'all who don't know, I met Justin because we were both part of a group called the Lion's Den. So there's a guy named Sean Whalen. He's an ex-MMA fighter and a real estate guy that made some money in real estate. Real sharp, really loud, outspoken kind of dude. Actually, much the same as Justin. He's got a like a business mastermind group, really a lifestyle mastermind group. And so in that group, I was posting relationship content and kind of had a little drama with one of the other members, but I stood my ground. I said my shit, coming in as a new guy to the group, and I caught a lot of flack in that group. But that's actually how I met Justin, because he called me up and he's like, man, like I can see that you're doing your thing and stuff. And yeah, I see you catching a lot of hell right now, but just keep doing your thing, And I appreciated that, because that's an intimidating group of people. There's CEOs in that group. There's millionaires in that group. A lot of high status people in that group. And it was really cool to get a phone call from somebody halfway across the country, be like, hey man, it's cool. Just keep doing your thing,
Well, and that's one of the hardest things, and especially within that group, like you said, it's a very powerful group. And I mean, it can be very, very intimidating if you let it. Uh, and there's, it's like any group. There's the clique, right? There's the circle, and it's like they want you to earn your way in, right?
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to earn your way in is by sharing the truth and standing in your truth. And it's something that I think a lot of people, like I said, it's very easy to get. It's very easy to get sidetracked by or put on the sidelines by. And if you don't have that mentality of, no, I'm here to be here. I'm here for me. I'm here to learn. I'm here to grow. But this is my truth. It's very, very easy to get intimidated and sat on the sidelines, just like anything in life, really.
100%, man. Hey, before we go down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
we're going to do a little something here. We're going to take a little journey. Hang on a second. Let's see. How do I do this? All right. How the fuck do I do this? Hold on. All right. Come on, man. I'm trying to figure out. This is my first time. Okay, I got it. All right. Here's what we're going to do. All right. We are going to. Yeah. That's what I want to do. I'm sharing my screen right now. So we're gonna take a little trip down memory lane here. Can you see my screen on the?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. This is the minute-long version, so we're not going to go into. So the full video that went viral is 4 minutes long. Hey guys, if you're watching, can you chime in whether or not you can see my screen right now? Everybody, I think you know what I can see it. I think we're good. All right, so here we go. We're gonna fire this baby up here. All right, so this is Justin's video that went viral, guys. You're gonna watch the short version.
You would fly the symbol of hate.
Man, that was so long ago, dude.
I'll take it down tonight. I will take it down myself. This is not a fight you want. We will win. But I can tell you right now, that flag right there, that flag ain't coming down. Not one bit. This flag flies year-round at my house. It will never come down. If the person that thinks they're going to try and take it down, I'll break your fingers.
That was.
Dude, I bet they didn't take that shit down, did they?
No, they didn't, dude. I was so mad that day, so upset. And it was so politically charged. It just kind of, it truly just like infuriated me. Just due to its political bias of it. The day before, I think what caused it was, if you guys remember, when Trump tapped Brett Kavanaugh to come join Supreme Court of Justice, the very next day I get left this note. I can't prove which neighbor it was. I got a very good idea who it was.
There's always one.
There's always one. And actually, I feel bad because I don't even think it was the neighbor. I think it was the neighbor's kid.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like something a kid would do, right?
Right. And so, and I mean, like I said, I'm pretty quiet for the most part when it comes to my kingdom. I keep to myself. I don't like drama. I'll be the first one to squash it. I like to keep to myself when it comes to my household. Because this is, essentially, I know it's going to sound cliche when I say it, this is my kingdom. This is my safe place. Like, you don't come here. You don't touch my shit. You don't mess with me. This is where I come to find my peace. And,
yeah, man.
I'll defend that at all costs. So when you have something like that happen, it, especially the way it happened, it blew up. Right.
You're like, who the fuck had the audacity to step on my front porch?
I was in pure shock. And like, dude, I had neighbors coming up to me that were like, dude, it wasn't me. Like, bro, it wasn't me. Like,
yeah. We still good. We good?
Exactly. And for
Yeah.
the last few years, they've seen me, whether I go to the gun range or I'm out back, working out or whatever it might be, hunting, fishing, like, it's just, it's this area is so diverse with what you can do. I mean, like I said, I guess
Yeah,
the
Montana,
saying,
right?
right.
Yeah.
The country boy still lives here. And that's kind of how I feel about it. But, it was kind of crazy, man. I got so much hate from that, especially from local people. That was the weirdest part. That would never happen in Bozeman, and you're lying, you're full of it. That would never happen here yet. 3
Oh,
years later, I mean,
people
you've got
thought you staged it.
yeah, let
Yeah.
alone 3 years later, you got people that are taking, back the blue flags down off people's houses, spray paint on garage doors. So I mean, it doesn't matter where you're at; it's gonna happen. And then the response I got nationally from that was just insane, dude. No, to be honest with you, it almost shut me down for a while. Just because every time I'd open up Facebook, like it'd be like another hate message, another rotten hell. But I mean,
Yeah.
for
Let's
every
talk
hate
about that for a
message,
minute. Let's
yeah,
talk about that for a minute, because most people. So I went through a little mini version of this when I started putting out dating content. I was part of an MMA gym, a large MMA gym, probably the best one in the state of Georgia. Okay, and that was my family. That was my second family, because when I got a divorce and I got out of the church, I lost most of my friends and family at that time, and so my MMA community was my people. And when I started putting out dating content, some of my best friends, there was a guy that I went to go visit every day in the hospital after he got in a car wreck. And I went to go see him every single day. I carted him around because he could barely walk after his car wreck, and even guys like that came out against me, put like hit pieces out on Facebook. They made like a spoof Instagram account. And so I underwent what it feels like to have the masses come after you, but that was on a small scale.
right.
So you took the brunt of like the masses, like the hate from the mat. Tell us like what that feels like and how you just fucking do your own thing through all of
Dude,
it,
at first you're like, it really messes with you, right? At first it's like, what did I do? Right. And like, I also, the one thing I realized too, like way back when too, and I still check it now every time I make a post, but um, I didn't mean for that to be public. I just thought I was jumping on Facebook, just bitching my friends.
Yeah.
Right. And so, it's like all of a sudden, like the comments, just the nasty comments, the nasty Karens, the nasty Kens. I mean, they came out of everywhere. The amount of messages I got, but at the same time, on the other hand of that, the amount of overwhelming support I got from that as well was insane. So it kind of counterbalanced itself out, right? But like they always say, the loudest boos come from the cheapest seats,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I had to remind myself of that, because the loudest boos were coming from the cheapest seats.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those highly polarizing videos, because people easily characterize, oh well, if you support the flag, oh you must, especially because you got the trucks in the drive, oh you must be a right-wing guy, which I'm assuming you are anyway. But still, people just latch onto like they want to make it whatever, right? Oh you're racist because you have the flag or whatever. And I don't want to go too down the political rabbit hole, but it's true. Like people latch onto that and they make it the lowest common denominator argument.
You can look at me and literally think, whether I'm left or I'm right. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm red, white, and blue, right? I bleed green. That's what I care about, right? The
Yeah.
only color that affects me is green. But there's people that like literally will put up that bias, just like in this sense in the dating world, right? Like women will automatically, prejudge you by what you're wearing, what you're driving, right? Kind of cologne you're wearing, right? Like they look at your boots, like it's kind of crazy, because we all do it. We all judge people by a book by our cover. We might find a girl that we think is the hottest thing in the world, right? And you get 3 sentences into it with her, and you're like, I can't talk to you, right? Like you might be the hottest thing in the world, but I mean, how can I shut you up? You know what I mean? Like, and we've all experienced that. We've all experienced that at some scale, even, and it doesn't matter if it's with a woman or not. Like, you get into a conversation with somebody you're expecting to be like an intelligent, intellectual conversation, or it's leading somewhere in business, and they open their mouth and you're like, "Can you just please shut it again?" Right? So when it comes down to like that stereotype, right? It doesn't matter where you sit on the political spectrum. It's how you carry yourself. And I think a lot of men these days, especially in the realm of masculinity, and for the record, I don't think there's such a thing as toxic masculinity. I don't think there's a thing as toxic femininity. I think there's toxic traits that lie in both male and female, and both in the divine power and the masculine power, that really there are some toxic traits involved in all, if you allow yourself to focus on just those traits. Right.
100%. Let me chime in here. I want to throw a couple references for people. So, okay. So you were a veteran, right? What branch of service were you in?
United States Chair Force, my friend.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Okay. And then, you've read both 3% Man and Way of the Superior Man, right?
3% Man and Way of the Superior Man. Correct.
Yeah. Do you have any other like favorite men's personal development books that you could? I'm going a little random here. I want the audience to kind of get the reference. Say.
Actually, one of my more favorites is Ryan Michler, Order of Man. It's his book Sovereignty. It's a very, very good book. And one guy I got turned on to in the last year, and him and I speak almost the same exact language, and it's somebody I'd recommend checking out. It's Man Uncivilized by Trevor Boehm. And Trevor himself is just very, I mean, dude, he dives into the deep aspects that nobody really wants to go to. And Benny's a guy that's a lot like you and me. I mean, I think you would love his stuff. I really do.
That's really cool, man. I haven't heard of him.
Yeah, check him out. It's Trevor Boehm, and Man Uncivilized. If you just Google it, you'll pull him up. But I mean, he speaks masculinity kind of the same way I view it, right? Like within every person, and David Ida talked about this, the way the Superior Man. In every person, you have the divine masculine and the divine feminine, right? And you know, even as the masculine, you're gonna have some feminine. It's kind of like the yin and the yang,
yeah,
right? And so it's the same way, and he breaks down the dichotomy of that, I guess, and the balance of that in a way that is just powerful.
Awesome,
and he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. He's an MMA guy.
Oh, really? Oh, now
Yeah.
I really want to read it.
Yeah, dude.
That's
It's
awesome.
I mean, he lives on the theory, and I think it's kind of like and this is why it resonates so much with him. Of course, you know, we've got, you know, core for your fitness, family, faith, and finances, right? Well, the way he looks at it is, as a man, we have 4 basic needs. Those needs are the need to feed, fight, fucking feel.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. That's funny, man. I thought I coined that term. That's great. The 4 Fs.
Yeah, the 4 Fs, dude. The ability to feed, fight, fucking feel. And he breaks down masculinity in the paradigm, right? From the 1950s Marlboro Man, and how much of a hard ass, and that's kind of like how my father was, how I was raised, right? To the sensitive new age guy, right? The snag, that was like the slingshot from the Marlboro Man, right? So we went from one extreme to the other extreme.
Yeah.
And now it's finding that balance in between the two, to where, yeah, as a man, it is okay to feel your emotions. Don't live there.
Man, that's so great. I want to chime in on that, because as the men's personal development realm online is called the manosphere, right? So in the manosphere, where there's all this body of knowledge of contemporary dating advice, there's all this information out there, and you tend to get these polar extremes of like, okay, they call it like blue pill, which is like totally misinformed, like regular average guy, and then you got red pill on the other end, where it's like, hey, I'm informed, but I'm so angry about, and I'm butthurt and reactive about you know, the way shit is with women, you know, and so you tend to get like the you know, blissfully ignorant over here, and then you tend to get like like the God, almost like extreme, alpha male types, not actually
Right.
alpha male, but like negative, butthurt, reactive alpha male on the other end of the spectrum. And a lot of those guys, because they're aware, they're in the manosphere. They're like in the same Facebook groups that I belong to, but it's like, it's a ministry to those guys because it's like, hey, look, like you can be aware of all the stuff and find that equilibrium between, having the knowledge and being a man and understanding the way shit is, but also being sensitive enough to have actual cooperative relationships with females.
Right. Well, I mean, it was broken down to me in the best way. Like, and I can't remember what book it was. I actually think, I mean, I've heard it before in David Dodd. I've read it before in 3% Man. But in all reality, like as men, we have really, like I said, those 4 emotions, which are to feed, fight, fucking feel, right? And as a man, like if you want to have the best relationship with your woman, and I wish I would have taken this advice so many years ago when I got into my relationship with my ex, they want to feel safe. They want to know they're around a man that can make them feel safe, that really can produce, provide, and protect for them. But at the same time, all one woman, she doesn't want to be fixed all the time. What she wants is to be heard, understood, and acknowledged.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you allow her to live in her emotional state without reacting to her emotional state, without trying to fix her emotional state, you have a better chance at that relationship surviving. Right.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have, I wish I could go back and do a lot of things differently. I'm thankful that things played out the way they did. But it's kind of crazy in that sense, right? Where, the blue pill versus the red pill realm, like it's like you have to pick a side, when in all reality, like the most dangerous man to me is a well-balanced man.
100%, man. So I also wanted to, earlier you mentioned Core 4, and that's something that I've talked about in my videos, but if you Google Core 4, you can't find shit about it. I know it's Sean Whalen's terminology, and that there's deeper origins than just Sean Whalen. But can you tell everybody what Core 4 is, and just explain it to the group, basically.
Absolutely. Core 4, to me, it's a way of life. To me, it's that's it. It is life. I wake every morning with intention, and have my day planned out before I even get started with it. But Core 4 boils down to 4 things: your fitness, right? What are you doing to sweat today? What are your exact reps? What are your exact weights? What is your exact food intake, right? To your family, and when I say family, I don't mean just blood, but what are you investing into your relationships today? How are you investing into them? Is it date night? Have you planned out date night? What are you doing? Yeah. Did you send out a gratitude test or an appreciation test? Did you make that phone call? Right. Your faith, and whether that's religious or not, some people, I consider just being spirituality in general, but taking the time to meditate, clear your mind, and feed your brain with positive stuff. I mean, dude, it's so easy to hop on, whether it be your phone or your laptop, and just turn on, and there's something just so toxic right there that it will literally take the energy right out of you, right? So like taking the time to clear your mind of, all those things, either through meditation or through prayer, and feeding good things into your mind, like whether it be inspirational videos from YouTube or reading a book, whatever it might be, like a daily actionable step, right? To make sure that you take the time to clear your brain for that. And then, of course, your finances, man. I mean, how much money am I going to make today, right? I mean, that's the goal, is to make money every single day. And it doesn't matter if it's $10 or $100. How much am I going to make today, right? And for you, those that work a 9-to-5 job, you can still go out and run a side hustle. So if you want more money, I mean, dude, the world's begging for authenticity and knowledge. So it's not hard for you to go out and throw out a side hustle, whether it be flipping sports jerseys on eBay, selling things on Marketplace, spending time like, what we're doing today, whether it be a podcast. Did I lose you?
Oh, Lagging a little bit. I don't know if that's me or you here.
Gotcha. But when it comes to your finances, like how much more are you putting into your bank account every day? And so through those 4 daily actionable steps, I mean, it basically feeds the 4 basic needs of the body. No, did I lose you? I lost you. There you are.
I'm back. Sorry. I don't know if that's me or you. I think it was me, but I heard you. Yeah. So you finished up on the finances part. Were you done? I missed the last part.
No, I
Okay.
was just you froze up there. But no, when it comes down to core 4, it's just like I said, it's planning out your day, your week, and
Yep.
it gives you that structure so you know exactly what you have to get done to get to exactly where you want to go. I mean, let's face it.
Taking action in every single category every day so you don't get out of balance.
Right. And my job as a coach, I'm not ever going to be able to get you the results. It's not. I mean, those are something that you have to do. You've seen that firsthand, right? So what happens is, as for a coach, for me, my job is nothing more than to take you from point A to point B in the fastest amount of time possible, right? And through that, and get you the results that you're seeking, whether it be in 30, 60, or 90 days. That's what it boils down to.
So we actually had a coaching call not too long ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to talk about that for a second. So for those of y'all that don't know, I put out a feeler on Facebook like probably a month or two ago, a couple months ago. I was like, hey, for those of y'all practicing Core 4, I've got some questions. I need to fix my shit because I use Core 4 and I've been planning that way for a long time. But it's not as cut and dry as you may think. So, for example, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk to Justin about when I got on the call, was like, hey, like I train jiu-jitsu and that is a physical activity. So theoretically it falls under the body category. But at the same time, the reason I really do it is more on like, it's more fulfilling. It's like a purpose, it's almost like meditation for me. And we drilled it down. And it's going to sound overcomplicated. It's going to sound like what do you call it? Just like frivolous, like just semantics or whatever. But we drilled it down to say, hey, look, on the days where where maybe it's not feasible for you to work out or whatever, you can use jiu-jitsu as your body category for that day. But seeing as how you primarily do it for your purpose, you can count that towards that for that particular day. And then we talked about finance because I also work a full-time job right now. And, I'm like, hey, I work a lot of the day and that is where most of my money is coming from. Should I be counting that under my finances category? And it's like, no, like one thing you could do is make more offers, for your coaching practice. And so some really good actionable advice came from, now keep in mind, I sought advice from a few different people. There's people that chimed in, like really high level people chimed in and gave me all different types of advice, even extremely lengthy advice. And in the case of Justin, he had the exact nuanced advice that I needed for my particular situation. And it really helped me have better clarity with my plan every day. And so I wanted to let people know that for those people that might want to look into Core 4 and implementing that in their life.
Absolutely. And brother, my question for you is since we've had that call, because I am that guy and I will hold you accountable, what are your results and how has it been affecting you?
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I've actually started training jiu-jitsu a lot more since that call. I've been going pretty religiously, probably, probably about 3 times a week. And that's been really good. And actually, I started a little campaign to get back in shape. So one of my goals for 2021 was get down to 160 pounds. And this last couple days, I have to admit, I've fallen off the train for the last couple days. We've had some crazy shit going on at the house, but I like my diet is good. And that's been one of the biggest pieces where I fucked up lately. So I haven't been hitting my extra workouts and runs over the last couple of days, but I have dialed in my diet, which was like the biggest area that I needed to fix. And then as far as making offers go, now my goal for 2021 is to sell, or really, I'm going to phrase it this way because this is what makes sense, to help 5 people get the results they want with my messenger coaching program. So I have an option where, so typically what happens is somebody schedules a coaching call with me, and then later they want to hit me up like, hey, I'm in this text conversation with this girl. Like, what do I say now? And so they'll get a coaching call, but then they need additional help later, and they do it. They want it over Messenger. So I ask people to subscribe to that, so that way I don't have to respond to 20,000 different people. So I've got a goal of getting 5 people on board with that program for this year. And so I haven't made offers for that yet, but what I will say is that I have been making consistent offers for my event that I'm hosting next month. So we actually
I've
have
been seeing that.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that.
So as of last night, I have 1 spot left, and I talked to a guy who sounds like he's going to book it. So I've actually sold all the spots, so it's pretty much sold out at this point. Yeah,
dude.
And that's a product of making offers too, because here's the thing. So when I first advertised it as an idea, people chimed in. A lot of people said, yeah, I'll do it, and then when I made it a thing, I had a couple early adopters, but there was still a lot of slots left. And I was like, man, and then when I fleshed it out a little bit more and I started advertising that, immediately everybody jumped on as a product of getting out there enough. So focusing on making offers, like right there, boom, I'm going to have a successful event next month. So I'm really excited about that.
Dude, that is so huge, man. I'm so happy to hear that it sold out, dude. Like that, dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
That literally went from a thought to a result in less than 2 months.
Oh yeah, much less than that. Maybe a month or something.
Maybe a month, something like that,
Yeah.
Dude. I'm so happy for you, dude, and I'm so proud of you, dude. That's killer, dude.
Yeah, first event ever.
So, but man, it's funny. I was just sitting back and I was thinking back to that first call, and it doesn't matter whether it's your first coaching call or your 10th coaching call with somebody or 100th coaching call with somebody or a conversation. It's crazy to be put in that spot sometimes, right? It's crazy to be put in that pressure. But at the same time, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier, getting the results you want, right, through actionable steps. But it's your results, like you said, and I love the vulnerability of your Facebook post and putting yourself on blast that you're going to lose X amount of pounds, you're going to get down to 160. And that's where Core 4 will come in to help you, is by that fitness regimen, right, of a daily actionable fitness goal, to be able to get you to your target weight. And like I said, all Core 4 is just a roadmap. That's it. It's just a roadmap. And if you follow the roadmap, you're going to get the results you want. Problem is most people overcomplicate everything to bloody hell. And then on top of it, there's no accountability there. So you pay me for my time, so you put skin into the game, right? And the advice that I gave you and the map we built wasn't free. And I think that's something that's so important, whether it be your in your relationships. It doesn't matter if it's in your body. It doesn't matter if it's in your business. It doesn't matter if it's in your faith. If you invest something into it, you spend even 1 penny on it, you've now got skin in the game, and you're going to be more motivated, hold yourself accountable. But the problem is, as human beings, and I think you can agree with this, we're pretty fucking lazy.
100%, man. So I put out a 28-day video course, which basically unloads most of what's going on up here. There's not much, but what was going on up there, I put in a 28-day video course with exercises, right? So I spent a couple months of my life creating this course, and it's free. It's free, and I have almost 200 people in my group, and best to my ability, I probably have about 20 people that have taken advantage of that course, and so now it's free. Had I made, had people bought in at like $1,000 ticket mark for the same product, I guarantee that those people would have increased results. And I know who's executing at a high level and who isn't, because those people are asking questions in the forum like, hey man, I'm trying this right now. What do I do here? You know what I mean? And so for the people asking questions, you can tell who's taking massive action, you know, and that's true, man. Like if you invest money, you're going to be a lot more willing to put in the elbow grease, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to the men in the group, I mean, and it's something that always, bothered me, because I always heard this stuff, especially in the military. Even in the civilian world, I heard it as well. But it's like, if you lack, you're a pussy if you lack discipline, right? And to a sense, you're cheating. The only person you're cheating is yourself. So I mean, I get it. There's days where I'm not disciplined about anything. That's the beautiful thing about Core 4, right? It keeps me disciplined. It keeps me grounded. And I don't know how you feel about that, but like, to me, discipline is sexy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
in
Why
my
everybody
eyes,
loves Jocko.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here walking among those giants and walking with those giants, like I have, like it's crazy, dude. Like, the one thing that separates them out of everybody else, and it always boils down to the one thing. It's not their will to win. It's not because they're better skilled at it, or they're better at anything. So they show up, right? They show up and they're disciplined about it. And because they show up, because they're disciplined about it, that's where the action comes from. That's where the results come from.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, I've got another question for you. I really want to get
Yeah.
into this part. I want to make this particularly relatable to the guys in the group that are single, trying to attract more women, etc. So let's talk about core confidence for a bit,
Okay.
and I'm gonna frame this question with using me as the example. Okay, so in some of my videos, I talk about kind of like doing what you think a badass does, like Joe Rogan's video, be the hero of your own movie, right? So take the actions that like if you fucking idolize James Bond, go start figuring out how to drive, exotic cars, get the suit, whatever, right?
Right.
And so for me, the two things I always thought were the coolest thing ever was like learning how to fight and then being good with girls. Like for me, like that's just as good as racing cars or playing guitar or whatever. Like I think that those two things particularly are the shit. And that's what I've spent my time, trying to learn. And like I'm not a fucking MMA fighter or anything like that, right? But jiu-jitsu is a fighting discipline, right? And so the things that play into my core confidence are the reference experience I have from those endeavors, right? I spent 5 years cleaning up crime scenes. I spent, a contract in the Marines, and I went overseas a couple times. I hit the dating scene hard for about a year and a half, going out. And in all the years I've trained jiu-jitsu, like these are the things that play into my core confidence. And that's the unseen part of like what's in here and what's going on up here, right? All you see is like this shit, right? This is all anybody else sees.
Right.
But my question is, because you're one of these guys that puts yourself out there and you're like, hey, if you don't like it, fuck it, right? And so could you help understand, the people, or could you help the people that are watching kind of understand what goes into Justin Schroeder? Like, what are the components to your core confidence, and how did you develop that?
A lot of it came at an early age. I was involved in Kaju Kempo Karate, which is a form of Taekwondo. It's a very Hawaiian based. It is Hawaiian based martial arts. It's half Shotokan, half Taekwondo. So that discipline and that confidence kind of came from martial arts at a young age. To me, like, it was never about being a popular kid in school, because I wasn't. I guess I just I've always kind of been a little bit of a loner, right? As people would say, like I don't need a lot of people around me, if that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
So when it comes down to like the core confidence, even today, like, dude, like I'll be the first to say it. Like my breakup over the last year, dude, it beat me to my knees, man. It really
Sure.
did. It made me question a lot of things. And it's been almost a year now, and I'm just now starting to get back to not necessarily that level of confidence. 'Cause that took a dip for a while for sure. But it's getting back to me and what makes me happy again, right? Like self-sustaining and having some sovereignty.
Well, what gives you the confidence, for example, to put it out there like, hey man, you come try to take this flag down and you're gonna retract a broken hand, like you know what I mean? Like, cause some people are gonna say, oh, he's just a big guy, oh, he's just confident because he's big. It's like, no, I know big guys that don't have any confidence,
right? It's being fearless, because whatever happens is gonna happen, right? So for me, like, I don't work out to have big muscles. I work out to be able to fight, and I work out to look good naked. Straight up, right? I mean, no chick wants to fuck a fat guy. Let's just say
Damn.
it, right? Here, let's just be real about it. Like, but a lot of that confidence comes back from my ability to be able to handle myself, right? And my ability to produce and provide and protect for me, right? A lot of that came from being able to fight, right? Just because you know how to fight, or you can go kick somebody's ass, you don't you don't need to walk around 24/7 with that attitude. I watch dudes that are 5'5" that walk around with that attitude all the time, and it's kind of like an annoying chihuahua you just want to kick across the room. Which is, I don't condone animal violence by any means. I'm a lover.
Chihuahua violence is okay.
Chihuahua violence is all right. But it's like it comes like every ounce of it, whether you're talking to a woman, whether you're talking in an interview, whether you're walking into the bar, walking into a restaurant, right? It all comes from within, right? It starts right here in the belief in yourself, right? Like, I don't have to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself I'm a bad motherfucker, because I know I am. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but how do you know? That's what I'm asking. What are the actual components? Have you ever sat down to think about this? Like, what are the things that feed your ego, that your experiences throughout life that have built you into this person that just kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I guess I never really have.
Okay.
Sitting back and thinking about it now that you say that, I grew up in a law enforcement family. My father was a Border Patrol agent for 30 years.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
So I watched him growing up, and it's funny. Like, you look at my brother; he's 3 years older than me, and like, we're polar opposites, right? Like, literally, like, polar opposites. He's very on the political spectrum. He lives in DC. He doesn't hunt. He doesn't fish. Like, none of it, right? Like, and then you've got me over here on the other side of the spectrum, where it's like, that's what I do because that's what I love. But if it's one thing that we both have in common, it's how we carry ourselves. And I think a lot of that comes from my dad. I do.
Just good example of like a masculine guy to look
very
up
much
to.
So. Very much so. And I guess that carried with me over, into the military, and it carried with me out of the military. But I think it's the ability, like I've always said, like, I think every single man needs to be punched in the face at least once in their life. And the reason why I say that is because once you realize that you get punched in the face and it really doesn't hurt that bad, you stop being scared of it. Right. And I think a lot of my confidence comes from the amount of rejection I've had in my life.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
100%. I'm going to read a comment. Let's put a pin in that for 2 seconds. Okay. So one of the guys, unfortunately on StreamYard, you can't see the Facebook user's name, but anyway, so the guy, somebody says, I feel you on that deep level, Justin. It fucking shreds you apart. He's talking about your breakup. You have to figure out how to get that confidence back. And so I'm going to speak on that for a second. So getting your confidence back on after a breakup, Yeah, there's some self-healing you have to do. So remember, that's what catapulted me into this whole dating coaching thing,
Right.
which actually, by the way, Stuart from the Lion's Den, Stuart Flaherty from the Lion's Den is the guy that told me to become he basically encouraged me to become a dating coach. So he's half the reason why I'm here today too. But yeah, dude. Yeah, it's good shit coming out of that group. But anyway, so I got kicked to the curb, right? And that hurt me so bad. And I really do believe that you have to take that healing period. I was depressed living in my parents' basement for like 2 months straight. I let her kind of cut off some of my friends, and I to some degree, because she wouldn't like when I would go out and socialize as much, and so that probably hurt my recovery process because I didn't have as tight knit relationships like afterwards, But I really do think there's that cursory time period where you have to heal yourself up, and then when you can go sit across the dinner table from women again, when you're actually fucking functional, I believe that the best way to heal from that is to go out there and show yourself that, hey, it wasn't just this one chick that you can have an authentic connection with. It wasn't just this one chick that is into you. You can go out there through your own fucking elbow grease, because remember, if you're a hot girl, all the attention is coming to you. But if you're a man, unless you're a fucking model or celebrity, your options are in direct proportion to how much elbow grease you put out there, right? And
100%.
so, yeah, so you got to heal yourself by getting it back out there and fucking taking action. But anyway, floor is yours.
No, I mean, dude, it's crazy. It will rip you apart, dude. Like, I was on the phone with you immediately, like, dude, how do I get her back, right? And here we are almost a year later, and it's like I've been on 4 dates, right? And on those 4 dates, I mean, and I wouldn't even really call 3 of them dates. I mean, because they were just, to be honest with you, I wasn't even interested, right? And that's when the results actually come, as you know as well as I do. It's when you're not interested. It's when it slaps you right upside the head, right? And
not chasing,
exactly, right? And so it was. I mean, dude, it was very. What's the best way to put it, right? Like, dude, I was a wreck for a long time, right? And I tried to fake till I make it. I tried to I tried my best to put on a smile, right? Yeah. And it was hard watching her go out and live her life. And then all of a sudden you're getting, phone calls from all your friends, like, oh, dude, your ex is doing this, your ex is doing that. And like, you're like, dude, I can't care anymore. Like, I love her. And like, the truth of the matter is I'll probably always love her, and that's perfectly okay.
Yeah,
I think, right? Like,
yeah.
And the reason why I will always love her is because I'll choose to love her when she was at her best, right? And when I look back in those moments, those are the only times that I allow those thoughts to ever come in my head, right? And it's so hard to train yourself to do that. But now that I'm single again and I'm out there and I'm putting myself back out there again, I mean, dude, it's kind of crazy, dude, the dating scene, and especially when you go out there at, like, dude, I'm 39 years old. And at 39 years old, I feel, look, dude, I've looked at some dudes that are 39 and I'm like, what in the fuck happened to you, bud? Like, you had a rough life, dude. And then you meet girls that are 30 and you're like, whoa, what did you, like, wow. Like, I mean, obviously you went hard at it during your 20s, honey. And so, and I'm not trying to be judgmental. I mean, we all do our own thing, but I mean, dude, like, I feel I'm pretty attractive dude for 39 years old, and I have no problems walking up to a girl that's 25 or, whatever, 24, 25, and asking her for a number or giving her a compliment, right? And it's so crazy when you step back and you look at the dating world, dude, just how many, like, I feel like I almost feel bad for women these days because the selection is starting to really thin out. Like, pretty bad, at least up here. I don't know what it's like down in Georgia, but damn, brother.
So my My screen just locked for a second. I guess
Yeah.
I'm in the fucking ghetto basically, and and I think we get bad connection sometimes. But I did hear the first part of that. What were you saying about where you're at? What do you
Just the selection of men around here, dude, is like it's. I mean, dude, it's pretty diverse. But I live in a very kind of hipsterish, like I don't know, like new age community, right? And I think a lot of women are actually intimidated by the masculinity of some men these days, right? So, like I said,
Yeah.
you find that dichotomy, that balance of it. But I think probably just getting myself back out there again, and just like you said, understanding that it's not the end of the world, right, is huge. And then the fact that I've got a 6-month-old bulldog puppy. I mean, dude, he's the perfect wingman, dude. What chick doesn't love a bulldog, dude? Right?
Yeah, Jose, if you're watching this, so there's a guy, one of the moderators in the group. He's from Chile, and he's got 2 little dogs, and he'll go walk those dogs every day, and that's his great in,
Dude, it's the perfect icebreaker, man. Like that dog can do anything wrong in the world. I mean, dude, he can walk up, sniff a crotch, he can jump on her, whatever. Right? And you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We're still learning training,
What's your name again?
What's your name? Like obviously he's attracted to good people. He likes to be around good people. Like, I mean, dude, there's so many easy ins with having a dog, dude. It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's life post breakup, dude. Like, I think that's the one thing this time around. Like, I finally took the time after, I don't know, like what, almost 20 years, 15 years worth of failed relationships. Because I mean, dude, I'm 0 for 0. I've never been married, don't have kids, none of that, right? So I'm 0 for 0 in the dating realm, right?
But here's the thing. There's a lot of guys that are coming from sort of like the nice guy sector, and there's a lot of guys that, if they could harness kind of one of the things that you have going, which is that core confidence, they would drastically increase their results, And it's the same thing for you, man. Say, hey, man, you're my coach when it comes to core 4, but on the subject of dating, man, if you were to, for example, like go take the Facebook game course, so here, especially for a guy like you, where you record a short video and you can send it out to girls on, like, you add random people on Facebook and you can send it out. Right. I'm not telling you to do what you don't want to do, but like you would have ridiculous results from that if you just blast, right? So typically there's like one little tweak that most people can do, and that's why I like having you on, because there's a lot of guys that kind of just need to learn how to unapologetically put themselves out there when it comes to dating and not retract what they say just because the girl doesn't like it, And I think you're a great example of that kind of guy,
Women will test you, right? And we've had this conversation before, but women will test you, right? And they want to know that if they say something, they don't want you to back out of your thoughts, right? If you stand in your truth and you say, this is who I am, this is what I believe, okay, well, I get it. So what? Like, you think so-and-so was better at, this political spectrum than this so-and-so, right? Like, totally get it. But this is my reasoning. This is my justification. This is the way I see it. And you're able to have an intelligent conversation. It doesn't mean that you're like trying to browbeat them onto your side. It means you stand in your truth, right? And you meet in the middle of it, right? Like, it shows a level of confidence. And when she does something like that, she's trying to test you, right? And they will test you all the time. And I think like most men don't understand that. Your woman's constantly testing you. And tell me I'm wrong. Like, you're currently in a relationship, you got a kid on the way. Tell me your girl doesn't test you daily.
Well, I think it happens in little ways. The more and more good at being congruent, and the more you're on your purpose, those things will come under the radar, and you won't even realize that they're happening.
100%.
Yeah, and so for me, it doesn't bling as well, or it doesn't ping me as well. It doesn't bling as well. But yeah. All right. I'm just gonna, because we're at 55 minutes, I want to try to include some of the people that are watching real quick. So,
all right, brother.
Yeah. So here we go. So So Steven Saudi, he's one of the guys in the group. He's actually a veteran as well.
Nice.
He said, fuck, man, I wish I could talk with you guys on video. So you have to actually pre-invite people to join on the feed when it comes to StreamYard. But guys, ask your questions in the group. If you have any questions or if you just want to say anything, I can pop your comment on the screen just like I did that right there. So Matt Shepard says it's gold. He likes the conversation. That's awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Feel free to send me friend requests. Add me, send me a message, whatever. Like, if there's any way I can help you in any which way possible, even if it's just a ear to listen to sometimes, dude, we all need that.
Yeah. We'll link to Justin's profile in the description at the end. Also, I'm going to link to that book that you mentioned earlier.
Perfect. Yeah, Man Uncivilized.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Any
questions, guys? Let's turn this into an ask me anything. Anything you guys want to ask about dating or anything we discussed, core 4, core confidence.
Just feedback in general. Enjoyed Thoroughly Badass, brother. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad we could, Benny and I could add some value to your life on this Thursday.
That's right. And we'll end up doing this again, too. I think between you and me, we could probably talk literally for like 5 hours straight.
I think so, too.
I think we could.
We could.
All right. Closing remarks, man. Anything you want to talk about or throw out there? Anything on your mind lately? Floor is yours.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. I would say
wait. Before you start, because I know you're gonna be a second. All right, let's show this one real quick because we got somebody that said something. There's a deep-rooted love you feel when you go through a breakup like Justin and I have gone through. So even when you're dating and getting the confidence back, how do you cope with the fact that you still love the woman, but you now have to, you have to move on? You're also comparing every woman you date to her. Do you want to hit that one first?
Dude, I do. And what I will say with that is you're always going to love her. If you had a connection, you're always going to love her, right? And yeah, it sucks to see her with somebody else. Yes, it sucks to hear that she's with somebody else. Yes, it sucks to hear that they slept with somebody else. That shit will kick you right in the teeth, right? But if you really want to get her back, do you really want to go back to that old relationship, right? Or do you want any future relationship to even have a resemblance to your last relationship? And that's why you do have to move on. You have to close that chapter. Whether you start it with her or you start it with somebody else, you have to sit back and appreciate it for what it was and really take it as a learning experience and say, hey, look, I know what to do now. Now I'm going to move forward, whether it's with her or somebody else. That's absolutely crucial. And it's okay to look back and reminisce. And like I was saying earlier, like choose to remember her at the good times, right? You see something of her, cool. Oh, that made me smile. I remember that moment. I hear Garth Brooks on the radio. I smile and laugh because, that was the one concert in a lifetime that I got to spend with her that like, I'll never see that artist again in my life. And I got to spend it with her. And it was such an amazing day. Right.
Yeah.
But you can't live there. That's the thing. You have to keep pushing forward.
100%. Yeah. So let's talk about spectrum of focus. This is one thing I talk about all the time. So over here is the past. Over here's the future, right? If you're stuck in the past, or I don't know what I said. I got my polls mixed up. But like if you're stuck in the past, let's say this one's the past, then you're depressed. If you're stuck there, if you're stuck in the future, you're anxious. And so to the best of our ability, this is what meditation is. We shift our focus to the present moment. And what's in the present moment? Well, it could be a robust dating life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this is where we get stuck because we get all nostalgic about, the woman that we love, the woman that was most closest to our heart most recently. And the only way you're going to find that again and even better is by getting the fuck back out there. And before you do that, guys, and this is what my courses go over, and this is what Corey Wayne talks about in 3% Man, you articulate the qualities that you're looking for in a woman. So you brainstorm, you say, you could even be shallow and be like, big boobs, whatever, right? You brainstorm the qualities, and then you list them out in order, and you hang on to the top 5. So top 5 qualities I'm looking for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And then and that is non-negotiable. So every woman that you date from there on out, you screen them against those top 5 qualities, and you be ruthless about it. And then from there, you go out and you date a bunch, you build up abundance, you have a robust dating life, and then you choose the best woman that reflects those things that you wanted, just like you do your goals, right? If you run a business, you want to go make $1 million, like, you know, are you going to settle for like 100,000? No, it's like, you're going to go fucking smash that goal. And it's the same way. You go out into the dating world and you find that woman that resembles what you're looking for in a partner.
And one thing I will say, and I don't know if, you know, I mean, for me, this was very important. I know exactly what I want in a woman. I see her, right? I see her up here, right? I feel her here. But the most important thing that I can tell any dude right now, you got to heal from that shit. You have to take the time. You have to grieve the process.
Yeah.
And it's, dude, it comes in moments where, like, there'll be moments where, like, yeah, I'll still sit back and think about it at night, like right before I'm going to bed, like, man, dude, I wish she was laying next to me. I wish she was still here, right?
Yeah, sleeping alone, that's a bitch.
Dude, it is.
Breakup. Yeah.
Dude, it is.
Yeah.
But the biggest
you don't have
is,
to
like,
sleep alone every night, but
no, you don't.
but
But I mean, here's the thing: is like taking the time to heal with it, because here's the problem with emotions. They're like a shadow. It doesn't matter if it's the darkest night out. It doesn't matter if it's the brightest day. At the end of the day, your shadow is always connected to you. So either you deal with this shit now or you deal with it later. But at some point, you're going to have to deal with it, right? But if you don't deal with it and you carry it over into your next relationship with that girl that you set out with intention to find, you're going to fuck it up just like you did your last relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So take that time to heal. Like, that's that. If it's one piece of advice I can give you, take the time to heal. Realize that, like I don't need anybody in my life. I want somebody in my life. There's a total difference. Right?
100%. Well, I'm hold on. I'm gonna throw another one out here.
Yeah.
Recovering from the death of a relationship. So another breakup. When it's the second, third, or more time. So somebody's saying, like, what happens when this is a serial problem? What do you do then?
Dude, if it's a serial problem, identify the problem and fix it. Like, why has it gone on more than twice? That's my question. Right? What did you not do the first time, the second time, or the third time, or even any time that has caused to fix this? I mean, like I said, women want to hear 3 things. They want to be heard, understood, and acknowledged, right? They don't want to be fixed. They don't want you to, what they want is they want to see you fix yourself, right? And here's the thing is, if you keep going back to going back to, let's say she's cheating on you, or let's say she's abusive to you emotionally, mentally, right? Or she's stealing from that light that's allowing you to stand in your purpose. That's not your person. That's not your girl, right?
Yeah.
That's not your queen. So step back and understand, is she your queen, and is she the one you want in your life? If that answer is yes, and she fuels your purpose, awesome. Step back and identify the problem that's caused you guys to continually break up. And if you can't get a hold of Benny, like, it's what he does.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
and over a lifetime, of course, you're going to have heartbreaks, right? But if maybe, like, let's take my case. So I was married for 10 years, and that was after having a handful of relationships growing up and stuff like that. But 10-year marriage, four kids. Then I'm in my mid 30s, all of a sudden in the dating world. One failed relationship after that. But the second one, hey, I figured my shit out, right? So maybe if after, like in my mid 30s, when I kind of should be smarter, should have an idea of what I'm wanting. If it's my third fuck up there, it's like, yeah, man, go back to the drawing board. What's going on? You may need to hire a coach. Honestly, I have a lot of free products out there. I do. I put the majority of what I know. And the majority of what I know, I actually absorbed from free products as well. But I've definitely spent money on coaching. I've definitely spent a lot of money on coaching, and I have all that shit out there. It's free. But here's the thing: like when you get a course and you start going out and taking action, you're going to run into specific issues, and then you're not going to know your blind spots. Like I didn't know what to do with Core 4 by myself. Like, luckily, Justin saw my Facebook post, and I was able to have a conversation with him to figure out what I needed to do. And sometimes you need to figure out what the issue is, and we don't know until we drill deep, and that's a coaching call, you know. So yeah, you got to get down to the root of what the hell is going on. But you're asking also like how to recover. But I think the answer we just gave you makes sense, because you know, if you heal yourself and you get back out there in the dating world, okay, that's part of recovering too. So you don't have to fucking go back, spiral down again, you know, and then you can be happy with the partner if having a partner is the way that you want your life to go.
Yeah.
We got a couple more comments here. We're at an hour and 5 minutes, so I just want to kind of knock out these last ones. Let's see. So yeah, somebody said I spent $650 on coaching during my breakup. Yeah, it's like who'd you spend it with? You know, it's like we can tell you, hey, go hire a coach, and then you tell us the guy's name, and then I'll be like, fuck that guy. No, you know, you hired the wrong coach, man. But
here's what I will say about breakup coaching. There's a few good ones out there. There's a lot of shitty advice out there when it comes to breakups. YouTube is a great reference and the worst reference at all times, right? Because you run into scumbags like Brad Browning or Dan Bacon or some of these other guys that like literally are some of the worst that are out there, that give you the worst advice of do this to get your ex back. Like, don't fall for that, dude. Like, if you're going to invest your time, invest it into you, invest it into somebody like Benny, invest it into somebody that's going to help you heal. Because the faster you heal, and the faster really you get your closure, in all reality, the faster you're going to end up probably coming back. So,
yeah. Somebody said Benny's the best coach. My results change immediately. It's true, guys. Like the shit that I see, because I don't teach pickup lines. I mean, yeah, like you end up using some canned lines, because in the course of talking to a lot of women, you just end up saying some funny shit, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to remember that for next time, right? But that's not the mechanics of how stuff works. What works is being an authentic man and putting your character out there for everybody to see and judge, and letting the people that are interested you know, hang around. And that's really what I teach is just being a fucking man and just going out there and doing your thing, right? It's a little bit more complicated than that, right? There's some mechanics to learn. But at the end of the day, it's just putting your authentic self out there in front of a woman, you know. Let's see. So another guy says, I wish we could see the names. They're all worth it. Stay away from ex-back coaches. I bought coaching from Paul at Apex Mindset. Stay away from Masculine Energy. Yeah, so I'm guessing Masculine Energy is another coaching firm.
Yeah. He's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah. It's funny. So, I don't even know any of these names. I don't know any of the guys you mentioned. I don't know any of the ones that have been mentioned in these comments. I've been privileged to fall upon really good advice. So, you know, and I'm not necessarily condoning being a pickup artist, but Real Social Dynamics taught me so much shit. Owen Cook, that guy has helped me out immensely. That guy is a fucking genius. I love that guy so much. Corey Wayne helped me out so much. His book is free, How to Be a 3% Man. That helped me out so much. David Data, I continue to absorb his material, and I continue to sit there with my jaw open as I'm trying to get to the next level and be like, holy fuck, this shit, there's levels to this shit, and I'm not at the top level, you know? And so if you can't go wrong with those sources right there. Of course, Real Social Dynamics these days doesn't really teach pickup so much anymore. They actually got into personal development, which is really cool, because I really feel like dating advice is really just like closet personal development advice, really.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Here, dating advice, what do they tell you? Go to the gym, build some confidence. Right, get the dopamines, you know, get the chemicals in your brain going. You know, when you lift weights, you feel stronger, you look better, right? You know, and it all boils down to, like you said, closet personal development advice, right? And it doesn't matter, like, I mean, yeah, you can use a closet, kind of like a cliche pickup line on women. But at the end of the day, if you walk up and you're truly standing your power and your authentic self, and you're genuinely interested in that person, They're going to feel that.
Yeah.
And
100%.
that's what creates attraction. It's not mystery, even though that does help, right? Like a little bit of mystery creates attraction always, right? But at the end of the day, standing in yourself and standing in authentically who you are and knowing
That's the bottom line.
exactly who you are,
That's
right?
the bottom line. Yeah.
That's what women find sexy. Plain out and simple.
Let me read this last one. So listen to enough of what Coach says that you can tell that they say stuff like they can say stuff like it came out of your mouth, or they point out stuff you already but just didn't know you knew. I can't even understand that fucking comment.
All right, so I think what he's trying to say is like he's listened to enough of the coaching, right? Like when you listen to enough conversations or you have that same information, like you already know what's about to come out of their mouth, right? And how you're going to respond to it. How you're going to react to it. I think that's what he's trying to say.
I gotcha. Yeah. So a lot of this stuff is intuitive, but here's the other thing: a lot of it isn't. And if you're having recurring issues, you do need to get with somebody and kind of drill that down. You drill down deep. So there's a lot of people, I'm guessing even viewers of the stream that have gone through that process with me, and we get to the bottom of the shit. Like I've given some good ass advice. Justin's given some good ass advice because I've had that experience myself on several occasions, and it's good shit. All right. On that note, we're at an hour and 11 minutes. Man, anything else you want to say?
Stand in your light. Be true to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Call your mom. If you can, call your dad. Right. At the end of the day, just be a good fucking person. Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters in this world anymore. And that's not some worldly hippy dippy advice. It's like Teddy Roosevelt said, right? Like walk tall and carry a big stick, right?
Write your neighbor a nice note and put it on
a nice note, right? Exactly, dude. No, at the end of the day, figure out who you are. Figure out what makes you tick. Like life is really that damn short. Like it could be gone tomorrow. It really could. So to the men that are out there that are watching this, like take the time to heal from all your past trauma, do some shadow work, get in tune with who you are, because whether you're currently in a relationship or you're looking to get into one, until you have a good relationship with yourself, it doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to find a way to fuck it up. And I learned that the hard way.
100%, man. Listen, I know you got all kind of shit on your plate. Your time is golden, man, and I really appreciate you jumping on this feed. And hope you have a great week, man. And dude, let's do this again sometime.
Sounds good, brother. I love you. I appreciate you. To everybody in the group, send me a friend request if you want. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. But brother, I appreciate allowing me access to your tribe, and thank you.
Awesome. Have a good one, man.
See you, brother.